Hello students, this is Ingrain. Welcome to the channel and welcome to the new video. Today we will continue the periodic table of class 10. In this chapter, you are expected to learn the classification of elements, salient features of the modern periodic table, periodicity and periodic trends in properties. Out of which we have already covered the classification of elements in our previous episode. For all the new viewers, you are requested to watch the previous episode to clearly understand the chapter. And if you haven't subscribed the channel yet, do subscribe the channel and press the bell icon to get all the latest updates. Today, we will cover the salient features of the modern periodic table. In our previous episode, we have got an idea about the history of periodic table. So we can say periodic table is a tabular arrangement of elements in groups and periods highlighting the regular trends in properties of elements. Here, the elements are arranged according to their atomic numbers and not according to their atomic weights. In this case, you can see there are 7 horizontal rows called periods, whereas there are 18 vertical columns called groups. The periods are basically the number of shells present in an atom. Each period begins with an element having one electron in its outermost shell and ends with completely filled outer shell. Whereas the number of electrons present in the outermost shell of an element determines the group. Each group contains elements with same outer electronic configuration. So we can say number of electron shell remains same in case of periods, whereas number of electrons in outermost shell remains same in case of groups. After knowing the concept of periods and groups, let us understand the different periods of the periodic table. The first period, which is called the period 1, it is the shortest period which contains only 2 elements with atomic number 1 and 2. Next is period 2, which is a short period containing 8 elements from atomic number 3 to 10. Period 3 is also a short period, but these elements are called typical elements. It contains elements from atomic number 11 to 18. Period 4 is a long period which contains 18 elements from atomic number 19 to 36. Similarly, period 5 is also a long period which contains 18 elements from 37 to 54. But period 6, it is the longest period which contains 32 elements from atomic number 55 to 86. And period 7, which is a long period, but this is an incomplete period containing 26 elements from atomic number 87 to 112. Apart from these periods, there are other 2 rows of elements called lanthanides and actinides with elements from atomic number 57 to 71 found in group 3 of 6th period, which are basically called the lanthanides, and elements with atomic number 89 to 103 in group 3 of 7th period are called the actinides, which are also the radioactive elements. Now these 2 rows of elements are located or placed at the bottom of the periodic table, because if they would have been placed in the normal periodic table, it would distort the shape of the periodic table. After knowing the concept of periods, let us understand the concept of groups. The first is group 1 or 1A, which basically contains elements called alkali metals, which are light metals and they form strong alkalis with water, and so the name alkali metals. Next is group 2 or 2A, which contains elements called alkaline earth metals. Now these metals are also light, but they form weaker alkalis as compared to group 1. Then comes group 3 to 12, which are called transition elements. Now these elements are heavy metals and most of them exhibits variable valency. Elements in the 6th and 7th period of group 3 are basically called inner transition elements. After group 12, there is group 13 or 3A, which is called the boron family because boron is the first element of the group. Next is group 14 or 4A, which constitutes the carbon family. As carbon is the first element of the group, the name is carbon family. Similarly, group 15 or 5A is called nitrogen family by the same reason that nitrogen is the first element of the group. Then comes group 16 or 6A, which is called the oxygen family. Now this family is also called chalcogens, which are basically elements which forms ore. So they are ore forming elements. Next is group 17 or 7A, which is the halogen family, which we all know about. It constitutes of elements which are salt forming elements, namely fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, acetylene. After this comes group 18 or 0 group, which constitutes the noble gases or the inert gases. Now the reason why these are called inert gases are because they are unreactive in nature. Now why they are unreactive, that we will study in our next episode. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to get all the latest updates of the upcoming videos. Now hoping the elementals of today's lesson is deeply embedded, we encourage you to take up the self-check assessment. This segment is specially designed to test your understanding of today's episode. The first question is, what is the speciality of periods in periodic table? Next, state the longest and shortest period of the periodic table. The third is, what is the speciality of elements present in group 17 and group 18? And the last question says, why the lanthanides and actinides are located at the bottom of the periodic table. The solutions of this segment will be discussed once we complete the entire chapter. If you have any queries or doubts, don't forget to comment it in the comment section. For any suggestions, you're always welcome. Meet you in the next video with a new episode. Till then, take care and study hard.